First of all, BER is a very tight-knit group. It's 11 students in each class. I mean, not in like each classroom, each graduating class. So that forms a natural family bond. At the same time, the professors only have 11 students. You're kind of their project for that year. They want you to succeed. And you're not just a number. You're not just tuition going through. They sit you down. The attention is unbelievable. So they do so much for us in terms of teaching, in terms of maybe generous financial aid, in terms of advice, connections. I mean, you want to do everything for them. That's kind of the deal. And same with students. I would not be where I am at Forbes if it wasn't for BER alumni. And I want to try to keep that tradition going and helping out deserving students as much as I can. I worked for 4 years on the New York Stock Exchange, so I was in finance, but at the same time it was a fast-paced trading execution environment. So I knew how to do it, but I didn't really know why down up the chain people were doing it. So it was really a great compliment to take those foundations of finance classes, to take the economics classes, to take the accounting classes, to really kind of get in depth and learn what you're doing. It was a great way to really, you can open up a newspaper, whether it's the front page of the journal or an obscure kind of bond to trade publication, and kind of get know what they're talking about with terms of asset allocation, in terms of accounting. And also they had a history class, which was great. It kind of puts it all in perspective, and it's a good way to find patterns and also find stories that maybe happened in 1930. It could be good to kind of flash forward and use that same idea now and find trends and patterns, because this stuff repeats itself all the time. I think it's important, if you're going to go to journalism school, to have a specialization, whether it's business or art or science, a way to kind of stand out from the giant horde of journalism students that are just generally magazine journalists or newspaper journalists. Those kind of mediums have gone away. And if you can say you have an expert in business, which is business has been on the front page of every newspaper for the past 2 years, is some business story. I mean, that's a hard expertise to get. And if you can say, raise your hand and say, listen, I have a master's in business reporting. I can write, I can read a balance sheet, I know what I'm talking about. I think that really makes you stand out in the industry. All the professors here are either working journalists or have been working journalists. There's no one sitting on an ivory tower saying, oh, theoretically this is how it is, this is how it should be. No, they'll tell you how it is. There's a perfect world and there's the real world. And they teach you how the real world is. And that's through either running a mock newsroom and having that kind of gritty editor, playing the role of the gritty, tough-ass editor. It's sometimes the classrooms here are stricter and with a higher degree of, they want a higher degree of quality than a real acting newsroom. So you're kind of trained. It's kind of like lifting weights, if you will. And it makes it so much easier when you go into the real world, because their standards are so high that it's either equal or above than what a working great newspaper is.